So, welcome to the second episode of the Diamond Podcast. And today I have the pleasure and privilege of interviewing Miss Shannon Crotty. Welcome, Shannon.
Thank you so much, Celeste. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you were able to join and so quickly and all the things. So, first off, we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about like, what do you do? I mean, clearly some of us know who you are and what you do, but to anybody who's catching this who is not aware, please explain a little bit about what you do for Polka Dot Powerhouse, what you do for Diamond membership, all of that.
Okay. I'm Shannon Crotty. I'm the founder and CEO of Polka Dot Powerhouse. That is a blessing that gives me the privilege of focusing a lot of time on that. For Diamond membership, hey, I'm a Diamond member. I am passionate about the community, and I provide a quarterly mastermind for the Diamond members.
Nice. And so why did you create Polka Dot Powerhouse? Like why is this so important to you and how did I guess these are multiple questions, but how did diamonds come about?
Well, Polka Dot Powerhouse, and I'm going to give you the condensed version because I know we have a limit of time today, but it's my sister and I's legacy. When, the long story is that I was a transplant to a new area, and I'd grown up the same hometown my whole life and never experienced disconnection, and moved up for my husband and went through a long period of just disconnection, not being able to make friends, find friends. And in the long run, I started a women's magazine, and it was during that period that my sister Tina passed. And my sister Tina was really one of the, and continues to be one of the pillars of my life. And when she passed, we had the magazine, and then within a couple of years, I was struggle busting about something, and had pulled my car over and was crying and praying to my sister Tina that I needed help and I needed guidance. And all of a sudden, the name Polka Dot Powerhouse was in my head. And at that time, I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it, but I knew Tina had sent me this name. And so it was one of those things that looked like a crash and burn at first. We had over 100 people say they were going to join. On launch day, we only had one. And it was a matter of being, I guess, a little stubborn and knowing my sister had sent me this for a reason. Certainly many days of heartache and not understanding the process. And at the end of the day, we just kept moving 300 feet at a time. The distance of headlights, sometimes less than that. And saying, when we reach that 300 feet, we'll figure out the next 300 feet. And when we started, it was mainly advertisers with the magazine. So it was very business focused, but over time, the community has evolved into being very much about the sisterhood component, about connection first and relationship first, and which really means a lot to me, makes a lot of sense. When I had the magazine and when my sister Tina passed, I had a business and she did not. It did not change the level of the impact or the importance of our sisterhood. It did not change the level of feeling of belonging and a feeling of being important and valued. And so to me, that means a lot that the membership has evolved into being about sisterhood connection and having a community that can be with you in all the different parts of your life, and that you utilize maybe in different ways in different parts of your life, but that you don't have to lose if things change or life hands you something different or you have a huge life change. You still have this warm, welcoming family that values you and wants to help you get wherever you want to go. And Diamond, so let's talk about Diamond.
Can I just pause you for a second there? Because I want to go a little deeper into that because I know that that's been my experience with Polka Dot. Like, as a woman who's done a lot of business networking and in a lot of different organizations, one of actually Chris Dyer, I'll just say her name, like Chris Dyer, we were in another organization together, and she was like, "Have you heard of Polka Dot Powerhouse?" And I was like, "You know what? I actually have. Like, some other person had told me, but it was never local to me, and it didn't make sense." And I was like, "But why are you bringing this up to me?" And she said, "Because where we are in this organization, they're just looking at your business." And she was like, "Polka Dot, they're looking at you as a holistic being. You are a woman first, you are a business owner, and you are a mother, and you are a wife, and you are whatever those labels are that you have. And I was just like, there was something that just settled in my body that was like, "Oh, I want that." Like, I wanna be seen for all the magnificence that I am instead of, like, just one piece. And I think that so many organizations I think that's what sets Polka Dot Powerhouse apart, is that you can be all of you in this safe space that is just really, really magical. So I just wanted to name that before we move on into the diamond space.
Absolutely. And I love Chris. Chris is a wonderful leader, member, and a member of our legacy team. And she totally gets the company vision. But that's what it is, right? Like
Mhm.
there are so many amazing groups. They all have value. Some of them are very business, very number focused, and that's okay too. And what sometimes people forget, because they'll come in, oh, if I can't get my referral, or if I can't get, when you support yourself and you grow yourself and you feel that sense of belonging, you do grow as a business person. You do
Yeah.
grow your clientele. You do grow in all the aspects of your life, but not just in that aspect, right? And
Right.
so it serves you in so many areas. And that is one of the things that's been the most challenging, is reminding people who have been taught it either has to be this or that, that that's not true. Our lives are not about this or that. Our lives are about all the components. And you should have at least one community like Polka Dot that is supporting all the different components, because you don't shut off yourself when you shut off your business or your mom's group or your college friends or all those things. And you don't, at least for me, it is distracting and it is challenging to have all these segments of myself in different parts of my life. And I need at least one community like Polka Dot where I am just me. And that is celebrated, seen, and encouraged, that wherever that is, wherever I want to go, whatever I want to be, whoever I am, that is encouraged and celebrated.
Yeah, I love that, and I definitely feel like that is the common theme, and that's what I hear from members as well, as I have connected with them, interviewed them, talked to them, all of those things. I love that.
I love that.
So how did diamonds come around?
So here's the thing. It's a funny story, a little bit funny, depending on who you were in the story. I'm a person who jumps off the cliff and builds the plane on the way down. And I listen, okay, so long story short, I'm an ambivert who owns a connection company, which means I usually schedule meetings and then I usually schedule a day for my brain to absorb what I've heard. That is how I work, right? And so we were hearing members say, this is great, this connection company. What I'd really like to do is find out which members I can talk more business with and talk about goals with and drive each other and do these things together. Like for them, they really wanted to take what they took with that connection company and build upon it for their business, right? And I'd been hearing that and I'm nodding and smiling, but not really processing. And one day we had some leaders on their way to a launch, and I said, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go ahead and go for it. We're gonna have another tier of membership that is more goal focused, taking things to the next level, people that are very serious about business and that sort of thing. And I announced it, and these leaders get to this meeting and they're all asking them, Shannon did a live, and they're like, she did what? We're doing what? Like, so I just announced it and I went. I've gotten a little bit better since then, but that's how actually it started, is that we did hear from members. Some of them were happy to have the connection part, the sisterhood part, and that's all they wanted. But we had other members who were very goal driven, wanted to raise whatever level it is, whatever their focus was, whatever their passion was, sometimes business, sometimes not, or they wanted to talk business. And after hearing that for a while, we have developed that tier, and that has grown and evolved and changed over time. But I'm really, really proud of the job that Elaine Terso, our managing director for Diamond, the members, that the way that it's evolved into what it is now is it's such a wonderful thing.
Again, going back to I feel like it's such a safe community where it's like, yes, of course you have a business, but of course you are a person first. And you have like that's been my full experience of it. And it's such a safe place to try new things and to see what works and what doesn't.
Right.
And yeah, so I love that. I love that you listened to the members and we're like, people are asking for this. I always feel like, okay, if more than like 2 or 3 people have asked me for a thing, like clearly that's the universe trying to get my attention.
Right.
So yeah.
To at
Yeah.
least investigate it, right? So to at
Yeah.
least consider it, or to see if
Evaluate.
well, yeah, put it through the filter and see if it's in alignment, all of those things. Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's great about that too is I remember what was it, 1990, no, 2004. I decided I was going to run a marathon, right? I wound up running. I wound up getting injured, missing weeks, but whatever. I did this marathon. And I remember at the time I was a realtor and I had a broker. And when I announced I was doing the marathon, I got the look up and down and that you're doing a marathon. And immediately it was like a sucker punch, right? One of the things I think of polka dot, but specifically diamonds, is you want to be an astronaut? Okay, cool. What would we have to do to get you to astronaut? It may or may not happen, but anything is possible. People have done it before and after, and they will do it after you. So how do we get you there? I think the other thing about diamonds that I really love, one of the many components, is you have a goal that you're going to get the look from everywhere else. You're going to get the look up and down. You're going to get the doubting. Not that that should stop you, but it doesn't encourage you. In
Right.
diamond, tell us your goal. Let us help you get there. Let us build whatever you need to build so that you are the person that will achieve that, right? It is a safe place to do that because you will not get all the questions about, is this a great idea? Should you be doing it? If you want to do it, we'll help you get there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that is definitely, at least in my experience, that's been so strong, especially in the small group masterminds where you're really forming these deep relationships with the other women. And yeah, yeah, so amazing. So do you have like a core memory of like a diamond member or just a regular polka dot powerhouse member, or like some type of collaborative relationship story that you like to share about or would like to share about?
Wow, I have so many of them. I have
I
so
know.
many of them. I The one that's coming right now to my mind is a diamond member, um, who I want to say it was 2015 celebration. Her name was Lisa. And I didn't even know she was, I knew her, but I didn't know she was an artist. And she had made a drawing of a tree and how polka dot was like this tree, about the branches and the reaching out. And she presented it to me on stage. And I had been trying so hard all day not to cry
Mm.
because it's either drip or it's total fire hose. There's no like like lo-fi
No in between. Yeah.
in between. But I'd never even thought about polka dot as this tree of the branches that reach out to all the parts of your life and how that connection works. And I was in front of a bunch of people, and so your emotions are high, you're trying to control that. And there is an image, and if I can find it, I'll send it to you. But there is an image of her hugging me after that gift, and
Mm.
that sense of someone. And that was still early days of us still trying to properly convey who we were. It's very difficult sometimes for people to wrap their brain around a feeling
Yeah.
and to convey what that feeling feels like until you feel it. Like a lot of people, we hear a lot of people say, I don't think I like, other women. I don't think I like women. They haven't always been nice to me, that kind of thing. And so it's hard for those women to feel what a supportive, encouraging community feels like. And so I remember with that memory being so overwhelmed, thinking I'd never thought about the tree. And so at that point, my brain was trying to grab that and that image, but also thinking that people are at that early stage, people are starting to get who we are. They're starting to see how this is impactful. And again, it's my sister, my legacy. And so it's such an important thing for me that we stay upon our vision, our mission, and we keep that pure and that people get that.
I love that. Yeah, I can see how, especially at the beginning, when like you're like, do people really understand what my goal is? And not even goal, but what your intention is, right? Like what your heart is trying to get across. And then to have that, it just sounds so beautiful. I'm so happy that you were able to have that.
Thank you.
So, do you have like a favorite member transformation story of like seeing where they were in the beginning and like where they kind of progressed to that you'd like to share?
Yeah. There's a member, her name is Jo. And she's a longtime member, a beautiful person, just a wonderful human being that I'm blessed to share the planet with. And I remember when she started, she was afraid to drive on the highway. She never traveled anywhere. She certainly didn't do any kind of public speaking. She did not see what the rest of us saw in her at that point, which was this amazing person that we're just so lucky to know, you know? And within a couple of years of being in Polka Dot, I remember her telling me, it's all due to the dots, you know, like the dots showing me that reflection of, I don't remember if this is the word she used, but basically showing the reflection of who she was. She's driving on the highway, she's traveling, she comes to a lot of the celebrations and stuff because I think it really is when you know that even if you fall, it will not affect how people value you because we all fall. I think it really frees you up to dream more dreams, to dream dreams that you thought, am I allowed to dream that or not? And so that was something I really saw in Jo that was really transformational is that, and again, she may verbalize it different than I just have, but when we all showed her, okay, you don't drive on the highway, no big deal. We just won't go on the highway. Then it gave, you know what I mean? When you don't judge people and when you don't diminish their value based on something they believe might be perceived as a flaw or something bad, and you're just like, oh, okay, cool, that makes you human, cool. Then something they're like, well, maybe I can do that. I no longer have to worry about what people think if I can't. If I don't have to worry what they think about when I can't, then maybe I can.
I love that because there's so much power in just accepting somebody for where they are.
Yes.
And also going back to what you had said, I think that there's also this perception in a lot of it just throughout society, but also in a lot of other organizations of like, don't show up unless it's perfect. And it's like, there's actually a lot more power in showing up where you are right now and letting people see that flaws and all. Right?
Absolutely. And I think, you know, obviously the reasons and the causes are bigger than this, right? But
Right.
how much does that enforce being anxious, having anxiety to know that all of these, look, the world is hard enough sometimes as it is without having people who are supposed to be your allies judging you and to feel that upon you.
Right.
Like you need, whether it's Polka Dot or another place, you need a place that you can breathe. Like anytime at celebration or what have you, we do 3 big breaths at the beginning because that breath reminds you that you belong right here, right now, and you're okay, right? Just as you are. I don't know about anybody else, but I've showed up maybe even today, you know, not the best hair day. I don't want to worry about if I have the right purse for a situation or what story to tell. That's too much work. It's too much anxiety. It starves us of our zone of genius. And the more we're with people who say, why would I care about that? And you're like, whoo, that feels really good. Thank you. And then now I can take all that energy I spent on that and apply it to what brings me joy and what will positively impact the world. Based on the,
Right.
yeah.
And if the purses and the shoes and all of that does bring you joy, then oh my god, that's amazing. But for me, that's exhausting. I'm like, let me just be comfortable. Or, you know, wherever you are, right? And like being able to really showcase that and feel safe in your own skin. And I think that is the beauty of Polka Dot as I see it, is like helping women feel safe in their own skin so that then they can start to, you know, like it's almost like getting the validation from other people before we can self-validate and be like, no, I am actually pretty fabulous. Like this is okay.
Yeah, you know how I describe that. I love how you described it, but you know how I describe it in a way that people maybe can grab is acceptance is about external validation and belonging is about internal.
Hmm.
And so what I love to say is that Polka Dot can't bring you sisterhood. We can't bring you validation. We can't bring you support or love. We can only reflect. So let us see the part that makes you feel that belonging in you and let us reflect that back to you. Because the truth is, you don't need us. We are simply here to be that reflection. And so that you can be reminded on an ongoing basis of how amazing you are, of how wonderful you are, and how awesome it is that you're on this earth with us.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit curious about what has been the most impactful piece of business advice or that you've received or that you've learned along the way, like your best business lesson?
You know what it is? It's Maya Angelou's, when someone shows you who they are, you believe them.
Mm.
I am particular on who I work with, and I have strong boundaries and firm standards. And that never means that someone's a bad person or they're not of value or what have you. But I know what drives me crazy. And nobody likes me crazy, not even me, right? And so, and I know that like I'm really anal about time and deadlines, and I don't need anybody to fix me. This is how I'm geared. That's what makes me happy. But I know if I'm going to work, if someone shows me how they work and they aren't, time's not important to them. It's not important to some people. And that's what they show me, that I have the courage to see them and know that working together, we're going to drive each other nuts. And that's not only not good for me, it's not good for them. So I'm very careful not to judge who they are as a person, but to see how people work. And when they show me that, to believe them and have the courage to say, this is not in great alignment. I can still love you. I can still value you, but we should not work together because we will not be happy with each other in the end. And so for me, that's been the biggest sense of self-love, and the biggest sense of loving others is having the courage to see what they're showing me and to make sometimes what is a rough call or is not perceived well based on that information.
Well, and also it takes a profound amount of self-awareness to know, like, this is how I work best and this is how I don't, right? And I think it is. It's a lot of self-love as well, like you had mentioned, like a lot of self-love, a lot of self-acceptance. I just know this about myself, and I think that's beautiful. And I think that's so inspirational for maybe other women who are feeling like, who am I to enforce a boundary? It's like, who are you not to?
Right. How does that benefit anybody? Not
Right.
the hard thing about that is that we've been taught they either like me or they don't. No,
Mm.
it's more than that. I can like you and still know that we would be horrible collaborators or horrible partners. And if I take a spot that someone that's you're meant to collaborate with, that's a further disrespect. So I think that it is I think that women with strong boundaries and firm standards appreciate that in other people. And I think maybe if someone comes in and they aren't used to that, that's okay too. They're in their own spot in life. It's up to them what they believe and not believe. But when you model that to them, hey, I can still love you and think you're a valuable person and be your friend, but to work together, I think that sounds like we're going to really, really be making a mistake. And I'm going to have the courage to see you and to see me and make this call.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, if someone is listening or watching this and is curious about um, joining Polka Dot or Diamond membership, like what advice do you have for them?
Well, I think number one, I'm a believer that things aren't happening by accident. And I think that if you're getting a nudge to look into something, you should at least look into it. Polka Dot is not for everybody, or there would be nothing special about us, but we are a very positive, strong community of women who believe in each other and who will stand with each other and support each other through all of the different aspects of life. And so we have, to me, it's like this huge warm, this nice warm security blanket that I could have more courage and be that. So if that is something that you're looking for in your life, we would love for you to consider looking at our membership. And for Diamond, those goal-oriented, I'm going to take it to the next level. I've got things to do. Get out of my way, women. They don't need me to tell them. They already know that they need another layer of family there to say, yeah, girl, I don't care if no one else thinks you can do it. I think that you can do it. Let us, though, figure this out. Then Diamond is for you. There's really no other way to say it than in your gut.
Yeah.
If Diamond is for you, in your gut, if you need a little bit further, we're all We're all going up a hill, and sometimes you need some push agents. And depending on what that hill looks like for you, sometimes you need a lot of push agents. And only you and your gut know that. And I think that most women who would be coming into Diamond would have that understanding about themselves.
I love that. This has been such a great conversation, Shannon. I'm just curious, as we wrap up, do you have anything that you'd like to share that I haven't asked about?
Oh, this has been, I love, all the questions have been great. I appreciate that. No, I just really hope that whoever's viewing us today, number one, appreciate you, Celeste, for the gift of your time and you doing this. It's an honor to call you my dot sister and my diamond dot sister. And I hope that whoever's watching us is just pursuing whatever leads them to joy. And if we can be a part of that, then that is a special gift for both them and us. And if not, then that's okay. And we wish them the best and the most joy that they can find. And we're glad that they're here with us.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Shannon, for joining me today and for recording this episode. And for our listeners, we thank you so much for spending your time with us. We know that that is an amazing investment that we so deeply appreciate. And if you have any questions about joining Polka Dot Powerhouse or joining the Diamond Level membership, you can go to polkadotpowerhouse.com. All right. Thank you so much.